Okay, now listen. Listen, friend, I don't usually do this. I'm all for not trusting strangers right off the bat. But this is fictional and you are very cute, so sure, thank you. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and today I would like to play a game called Inclement Idée, Fixe. Keeping track of the amount of times you've sighed by now is as pointless as counting each grain of sand on a beach. Then again, you're pretty certain that any normal human would have been just as annoyed as you were if they were in your current position. Working as a barista wasn't the most glamorous job, but it did keep you from being homeless and hungry. While you did enjoy brewing coffee, the nice regulars, and the coziness of the cafe you worked at, you certainly didn't enjoy showing up to work just to realize that it was closed for today due to renovations. There was a note on the door of the cafe stating as such, with a long board covering the side window. And your boss didn't think it was necessary to inform you. Just great. Apparently, your boss had better things to do than manage his business. Would it have killed him to send out a mass text or email notifying his workers of the surprise renovations that he hadn't mentioned recently? Or at all, for that matter. With yet another irritated huff, you begin your trek back home on foot. It was pretty unfortunate that you'd only noticed the flat tire on your car this morning. You thought you were a pretty cautious driver, so you weren't sure when it would have gotten flat. And to add to your growing list of annoyances, it was beginning to get cold, cloudy, and humid, which could only mean one thing. Drip. Drip drop. Oh man. Oh no! And now it's pouring. Oh jeez. Ugh, poor main character's just having a time of it. Oh, for the love of... Though the sudden rain was pretty inconvenient, it was fortunate that there was a bus stop shelter a few feet from you. While holding your satchel over your head, you rush under the shelter and take a seat. A huff of exasperation forces its way out of your mouth. The world must be out to get you today or something. God peered out of the clouds and said, "Oh, I hate you, main character." Nothing was going right. You take out your phone, intent on checking the forecast for the rest of the day. The heavy rain will persist late into the night. Great. I'm getting annoyed for them. Well, you were fine with waiting for a bit. But an hour was completely out of the question. It was too cold for that, and you'd only brought a thin jacket with you. You weren't expecting the sudden rain and chill after all. It's an email from your boss. Your negligent, selfish boss. You're a bit too angry with him to read it properly at first, but you manage to calm yourself down for a moment to read, eyes flitting to your name on the first line of the email. Oh, it says espoir, which means hope in French. Espoir? I need you to come by my place tomorrow, since the cafe is closed today. Yeah, I'm aware, no thanks to you, a-hole. There's something I need to give you in person. That's suspicious. And that's the end of the email. You really have no desire to see your boss outside of work. He's never been difficult to get along with per se, though he does make unwanted passes at you sometimes. Even though you've tried your best to let him down easy, he just won't take no for an answer. To say that it's becoming a little unnerving would be an understatement. Still, you don't want to lose your job, so you've learnt to deal with it. While also putting in job applications at nearby businesses, just in case you reach your breaking point soon. It's getting colder. The sound of this rain is lovely, though. You wrap your arms around yourself, tilt your head down, and puff out a warm breath, already beginning to shiver a little. You feel pretty darn miserable. Oh. Then a voice interrupts your internal pity party, forcing your head back up. For a few moments, you simply stare at the stranger before you. Oh, Oh my. Oh my stars. He seems surprised to see you, though you're not too sure since you can't exactly see his eyes due to his unruly bangs. The bus. He gestures a hand toward the bus stop sign awkwardly. It's not running for the rest of the day, and, traffic accident or something. They're working to fix it, I think. You deflate almost instantly upon hearing his words, leading you to realize that you don't have any way to get home. Without being thoroughly drenched from head to toe, that is. You wish you could have called your dad to come give you a lift, but he's out of town right now. And with the way you were already living paycheck to paycheck, it wasn't like you had any extra funds for a taxi service. In short, you're stuck. Well, better power through it. I hope you don't get home with pneumonia. How the heck am I supposed to get home now? You mutter to yourself, feeling even more defeated than before. I could walk you home, if you want. There's enough room under my umbrella for two. The stranger's offer bemuses you for a second, as you think of a proper response. Uh-oh. Okay, now listen. Listen, friend. I don't usually do this. I'm all for not trusting strangers right off the bat. But this is fictional and you are very cute, so sure, thank you. Are you sure? I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know how long I would have been waiting if you hadn't come along. Well, it's not a big deal. I was just passing by. But, you're welcome. Oh, he's blushing a little. Lumen? Oh, that's beautiful. If only I could be so grossly incandescent as Lumen.
If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
My name is Lumen, by the way. You can call me Lou if you want. You gave him a smile in return. My name's Espoir. It's nice to meet you, Lou. Likewise. Anyway, we should probably get a move on before the rain gets even worse. Shoot, you're right. Let's go. I'll lead the way. You can't remember the last time you've walked with someone, even if that person was a stranger. As you walk, you make sure to stay fairly close to Lumen to keep yourself from getting wet. He has a unique smell to him you came to notice pretty quickly. It's a mix of flora, coffee, and the faint scent of fresh laundry. It's comforting. You really hope you aren't too obvious with the fact that you're basically smelling him. You clear your throat and focus your attention back to the sidewalk ahead of you. Even though you've only known him for a few minutes, Lumen seems to be the quiet type. Still, he tries his best to fill the silence between the two of you. So, Espoir? Yes? Why did you come out today without an umbrella? The news said there was a 90% chance of rain. Oh, I didn't watch the news before leaving this morning. I was kind of in a rush. I did check my weather app, though, and it didn't mention any rain. Maybe my app isn't up to date or something. Lumen hums in acknowledgement, then lapses back into silence for a bit. You can see him occasionally glancing at you out of your peripherals. Or you assume he is. Can he even see with those bangs of his? You, work at Renee's cafe? Lumen suddenly asks, most likely referring to your uniform, which consisted of a simple maroon-colored t-shirt sporting the coffee shop's logo on the back and breast pocket. You give a small nod, momentarily pulling at the front of your shirt. Yeah, I do. I go there a lot. I really enjoy the coffee. Did he? You were pretty familiar with the cafe's regulars, but you're not sure you've seen him even once. The coffee is pretty good, right? If there's one thing my job does right, it's definitely the products we sell. What do you mean by that? Well, the management is pretty mediocre, and my boss is a little assertive, at best. Lumen's expression darkens, though you fail to notice it as your eyes are aimed downwards, observing the cracks in the wet pavement of the sidewalk. I only came out today because I thought I had to work, but turns out the cafe is undergoing some kind of renovations. I guess my boss forgot to send out a notification before my shift to let me know. I wonder if I'm the only one that didn't get it or something, because I didn't see any of my other coworkers. That's pretty odd. Does your boss think he has better things to do? That's the same thing I said. You exclaim, throwing up your arms in frustration. Oh, so it's more like, that's what I said! For some reason, the fact that Lumen was unbelievably tall just crossed your mind as soon as you realized that tossing your arms up didn't knock away the umbrella, or even touch it for that matter. Oh my! He was so much taller than you, it felt like you were standing under an awning or something. Anyway, no use in crying over spilled milk. Might as well suck it up and move on, yeah? I suppose. Let's change the subject then. Do you have any hobbies, Espoir?
I like to draw.
At this point, I play more video games than I do drawing, but I like to draw. Well, I like drawing. It's pretty relaxing and therapeutic, until my back, wrist, and neck starts hurting. Or I realize I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Oh. My little sister used to draw a lot too. Ever since she started college, she hasn't had the time. She even tried teaching me, but I've, never been any good. Hey, drawing takes a lot of practice and patience to be proud of the art you make. I think if you keep practicing, you'll be able to see results eventually. Do you really think so? Of course. Practice makes perfect and all that. Thank you, Espoir. Anyway, enough about me. Since you already know where I work, how about you? Oh, I'm a florist. I enjoy it. Wow, really? Man, I wish I had a green thumb. Sadly, most of the plants I get end up dying. Poor things. Well, growing plants can be made easy, but it still requires a lot of patience and attentiveness. Anyone can learn, though. I really hope that's true. I recently bought a little fern after hearing they're easy to maintain. I know, I was there when you bought it. What? What? Oh wait, no, maybe he's just saying that because I bought it from his store and it's not a creepy stalker thing. Huh? What was that, Leo? Oh, I was just saying that ferns are a good choice for newbie plant owners. I've had it for a few weeks now and it's still alive, so that's definitely a start. You give him a smile. The man beside you returns it. Aww. Talking to Lumen becomes easier, and you soon find yourself deep in conversation with him for the rest of the walk home. Until you realize that you're about less than 2 minutes away now. What should you say to him? Now listen here, Lumen. I don't normally do this either. But would you like to come over and have some coffee? Well, there's no harm in continuing to walk with him, right? You're almost to your place anyway, and you don't really want to get drenched. We're probably about 2 minutes from my place now. You try to think about how to word what you plan on asking him. It takes you a few seconds until you finally clear your throat and just come out with it. Would you like to come over for some coffee? My equipment isn't nearly as good as the cafe's, but I think I make a pretty good cup. You try to ignore the implications and reassure yourself that it's just coffee. No hanky-panky, no shenanigans, just coffee. Even if it may be a euphemism for... yeah. Do you really not mind? No, not at all. I mean, you've gone out of your way just to walk me home. I think a cup of coffee is the least I could do, you know? Well, if you really don't mind it, then I'll gladly accept your kindness.
Oh, we're all friends now.
The rest of the trek to your apartment is pretty short, and both you and Lumen are quiet during it. At least it's not an awkward silence, though. Home sweet home. Feel free to put your umbrella at the entrance so you can dry a bit. Thank you. Get yourself settled. I'll start on the coffee. Lumen does as you direct and takes a seat on your couch as you turn on the TV. The two of you engage in a bit of small talk while you brew the coffee. You've done it so much by now that it's practically second nature. Here you go. Thanks, Espoir. You watch him with anticipation gleaming in your eyes, curious to see how he reacts to the drink. Lumen sips it quietly and carefully, seeming to savor the rich texture of the coffee as he swirls it around in his mouth for a bit. Amazing. It tastes really good, Espoir. Really? Oh, thank God. I'm glad you like it. I do. In fact, I'd, say it's better than anything I've gotten from Frenay's Cafe. Aw, now you're just flattering me. You give a small, coyish laugh, waving off his compliment. No, not at all. I really do think it is. Oh. You weren't expecting him to be so passionate about it. But you couldn't really say you hated it. If anything, it was nice to be appreciated for something as small as brewing a cup of coffee. Well, I'm really glad you think so, Lou. It's the least I could do, anyway, since you gave me a way home, dry and not sick from the rain. You laugh as you play with your fingers in a bashful manner. It spooked me. He was going to say something and one of our phones went off. Ah! It's my phone. Sorry. That's fine. Feel free to, answer it. Sorry. It's no problem, really. As Lumen retrieves his phone from his pocket and begins reading over what you assume to be a text message, his expression shifts into a deep frown. I, have to go. The shop is understaffed, so they want me to fill in for someone today, even though it's my day off. Lumen looks annoyed. Rightfully so. You're sure you'd be annoyed, too. You've been called into work even when it was your day off before as well, so you could definitely understand his annoyance. Can I see you again? Sure, I don't see why not. What's your number? We can swap contact info before you go. Okay, sure. Once the two of you have exchanged information, you give Lumen a bright smile. It was really nice meeting you and talking to you, Lumen. Let's talk later, okay? Yeah, definitely. I'll see you later, Espoir, and thanks again. You're welcome. Let me see you out. As soon as Lumen leaves, you feel a nice warm sensation in your chest. It was really nice meeting a sweet guy like him. You soon find yourself hoping you could see him again soon. Lo, that heart's going crazy. Espoir. I'm so happy. So happy. I can't believe I was in your home. It smells just like you. And that coffee mug you gave me. I wonder, is it new? Or is it the one you've had your pretty lips on before? Just thinking about it is gonna make me... The young man cuts himself short with a full-body shudder and another fit of giggles. I was even happier when you offered to exchange numbers. Maybe being called in wasn't so bad after all. I can't wait to text you every day and call you and hear your voice and... Oh, but first, I should really do something about that pest buzzing around you.
Oh dear!
Today was a clear, sunny day, just in case you still decided to check the weather. The forecast says the chance of rain is quite low, thankfully. You didn't want to run into any inclement weather on your way to your boss's place. Oh yeah, I forgot we still need to do that. He did mention there was something he needed to give you yesterday in that one email. Even though it's the weekend and you'd much rather spend your day doing literally anything else, you knew it wouldn't be a good idea to leave your boss on read or not show up today. As you're getting ready for the day by brewing a cup of coffee and starting on a light breakfast, you switch the channel to the news. This morning, a local man was found in his home, murdered. I'm not sure what I was expecting. The news is always depressing. The identity of the man has been revealed by the police in hopes of finding his killer as soon as possible. Absent-mindedly, you glance at the TV while scrambling eggs in a frying pan. You weren't prepared for what you saw. Then, the man showed on the screen was your boss. The man shown on the screen was your boss. My goodness, I wonder what could have happened. Oh snap, does that mean I don't have a job? Uh-huh. No, that can't be right. That doesn't sound right. Using the back of your hand, you furiously wipe at your bleary eyes, wondering if you were perhaps seeing things. No, you weren't. It was him. There's no doubt about it. You're quick to turn off the stovetop burner, pushing the frying pan to the back eye while you try to regain your composure. Breathe in and out. In and panic. In and out. Okay. Now that the initial panic has somewhat subsided, you try your best to rationalize things. It wasn't that you necessarily liked the man, but you certainly didn't wish death upon him. Seeing his death being reported in such a clinical fashion was pretty jarring, to say the least. Oh dear. Now that you're out of whatever trance you'd been in prior, you can hear the incessant buzzing coming from your phone, sitting on your kitchen counter. As expected, there were tons of messages flooding in, all from your coworkers. They were wondering if you'd seen the news and asking if you were safe. You quickly type out confirmation that you are indeed unharmed and still at home. As you wait for their reply, you take a seat on your couch, breathing out a long sigh. Was your boss's murder a one-time arbitrary case? Or were you and your coworkers in danger as well? Well, one thing's for certain. You sure won't be leaving the house today. Scrolling through messages you've missed, you see there's a new notification that just came in. It's from Lumen. Good morning, Espoir. Hope you're having a good day. Smiley face. Maybe you could tell Lumen about the things on your mind. Judging from yesterday, he seemed to be a pretty good listener, and it's not like this was anything super private. Your boss being murdered was already on the news after all. What should you do? Let's spend some more time with Lumen.
Nope.
Oh wait, we can't spend more time with Lumen. Well, I guess we could just go back to sleep. Sleep on it, have a little nap. Reset the day. This is all too much for you. The exhaustion is really starting to kick in. Just being awake right now is too much. I'm going back to sleep. For some reason, you feel as if you've missed out on something big. Oh dear. Huh. Oh well.
Huh?
Oh dearie me. Ending 2. Avoidance. Forget this, I'm going to bed. Okay. What if we leave Lumen on read and invite a coworker over instead? On second thought, maybe displaying all of your vulnerabilities to a man you just met a day ago wasn't the best option. It's not that you have anything against Lumen, you're just not comfortable confiding in him yet. Leaving him on read is a little mean, but hopefully he'll take the hint. Instead, you could invite your coworker, Sam, over. He lives pretty close by, and he also expressed concern for you since you live alone. You decide to text him. You sit back and wait for him. Sam? Sam, you good? Lumen! Lumen! Why? Why would you choose him over me? Why?
Oh,
I don't understand. Did I do something wrong? Do you hate me? Lou. Maybe the way I feel about you hasn't gotten through to you yet. That must be it. After all, we shared such a magical moment not too long ago. I know you feel something for me, Espoir. I know. I don't mind waiting for you to see it either, my love. But I will not stand for anything or anyone coming between us. I'll just have to kill him, too. Now, Lumen, don't do that. I don't want you to do that. Don't do that. Ending 3. A new target.
oh dear.
Okay. Obviously you don't like rejection, so I'm gonna have to reject you. I'm sorry, pal, but I'm just sitting here and I'm already miserable, and the last thing I need to do is to talk to strangers, so I don't trust strangers. I'm sorry. No offense. Sorry, but I don't really trust strangers. The man before you shifts his weight from one foot to the other, sighing a little. I understand. But we're on a main street, so if I tried anything, someone would see me. You, don't have to be so cautious. The man tries to ease your anxieties, but to no avail. You just stare back at him with a skeptical expression until he sighs again. My name is Lumen, but you can just call me Lou. My name's Espoir. Then I guess we're not strangers now, huh? Anyway, we should probably get a move on before the rain gets worse. Oh, right. Yeah, good point. Espoir, hold your ground. You said no. Don't let him fool you with his pretty face and nice hair. I'll, lead the way then. As for hobbies, I also like gaming. Oh, I usually spend my free time playing games. Really? Lumen looks pretty energized by your answer. Does he like games too? What kind of games do you like? It's a mix of RPG, gacha, and visual novel games. I like a variety. Put in some rhythm and music games in there, that'd be me, alright. Except for gacha games. I don't think I've ever played one. Wow, that's super cool. Most people tell me that I'm too old for games, so it's nice to see other adults who play games, too. I don't think the enjoyment of any hobby should have an age restriction on it. I'm sorry you have to put up with that, though, Lou. It sucks. I've gotten used to it by now, I think. But still, thank you, Espoir. No need to thank me. Okay, Lou. Okay, you'd finagled me into letting you walk me home, but I can make it from here. You can go. I'm fine. You can go now. Hey, since we're pretty close to my place now, I think I can make it from here on my own. Are you, sure? Oh, yeah, I am. I appreciate you walking me this far, but yeah, I've got it from here. I live close by, so, It's not like you have anything against Lumen or anything. You're just not a huge fan of letting someone you don't really know near or into your home. Not in this playthrough, at least. Even if they are a cute and helpful stranger. A stranger is still a stranger at the end of the day. You hope he understands that. Fortunately, Lumen is pretty quick on the uptake. All right, if you say so. The tall man shifts his weight to his other foot for a moment, then speaks again. I'll, see you around, then. I'm sure you will, since you frequent Renee's cafe a lot, right? Again, thank you so much, Lumen. I'll see you later, alright? Lumen gives you a small wave before you lift your satchel back over your head and bolt down the street. He watches your retreating form for a few moments, then turns and starts back the way you both came from. Calm down, Lumen. Calm down. Aha. Espoir. Espoir. Espoir, espoir, espoir. The young man giggles to himself as he repeats your name over and over and over again. You're a pretty cautious person, aren't you? Ah, and even after going through all that trouble with your tire, too. What a waste. But that skepticism of yours is a good thing. Trusting strangers is a no-no after all. Oh, but you're not a stranger to me. I think I know you better than I do my own family at this point. Heck, I think I'd even go as far as to say that I know you better than your own family does. God, you're so adorable. So cute. I wonder if you realize how cute you are. I'll have to keep my eye on you. Or else you'll slip away from me, won't you? I certainly can't have that. I love you too much after all, you know. And I can't wait to see you again. My sweet, sweet espoir.
Oh dear, it seems I have a bit of a secret admirer.
You slashed my tire? Why would you do that? Ending 1.
Idée Fixe.
About Lumen.
Oh, precious.
And dangerous. Lumen Holiday, born March 19th, age 27. Occupation, florist. Hobbies, gaming, gardening, people watching. Likes, cloudy weather, coffee, small animals, and instant foods. Dislikes, crowds, the sun, wet socks, tight spaces. Personality type, INFP. That's neat. What if I say I like writing? I like writing. Drafting a story from the ground up has to be one of the most satisfying things. If I read something I don't like much, I get motivated to try and write something I'd enjoy personally. That makes sense. Having full control over what happens in a story sounds nice. Is that some foreshadowing, Lumen? Right? I usually just write things I enjoy, but I'm trying to branch out and try writing different things. Any specific genre you prefer? I like romance a lot. Some horror. Oh, I do like a good comedy every now and then, too. I'd like to read your writing someday. Oh? If you wouldn't mind, of course. No, I definitely wouldn't mind. I'd appreciate feedback. Oh, that's a relief then. What if I say a bold-faced lie and said my hobby is jogging? I try to jog whenever I get the chance. Exercising is a bit of a pain, but it really does improve my mood. Man, I really wish the people that said exercising is good for you were lying. I know, right? It almost sounds too good to be true. I don't really like the sun, so when I do exercise, I usually do it inside.
Yeah, the weather isn't always the best for jogging either.
Case in point, you hold out your hand to catch a few raindrops on your palm with a grunt. Maybe you could get a treadmill.
I'll probably need to wait until my next payday for that. Good idea, though. Oh dear. Now I have the option to invite Lumen over. Hey, Lou. Lou, I know you're a complete stranger, but I think we bonded back there, so why don't you, a complete stranger, come into my house again?
You decide to invite Lumen over. It's better than being alone, after all. Now that your mind is made up, you text him back. Could you call me, Lou? There's something I want to talk about. Sure thing. With his go-ahead, you dial his number. He picks up almost immediately. Are you okay, Espoir?
Yeah, I am now. Do you, work today?
No, I usually have weekends off.
Okay, cool. I was wondering if we could maybe hang out today? I'm not sure if you've seen the news recently, but... You pause and swallow, hoping to clear the lump in your throat. My, boss was killed. I really don't feel safe being alone right now. Lumen is quiet on the other end, seemingly registering what you just told him. Either that or he's stifling a giggle. After some time, he speaks up again.
Sure, I'd love to keep you company.
Thank you so much, Lou.
It's no problem, really. Stay put, I'll come to you. You sit back and wait for your new companion to come. Lumen shows up pretty quick, which you're extremely grateful for. None of your coworkers seem willing to leave their homes either, figures. And yeah, that pretty much is all there is to it. You explain to Lumen that you don't know anything at all about your boss's murder, but it still shook you up regardless. I'm so sorry. That must have been a lot to take in so early in the morning. You give a quiet nod, whilst tracing a finger around the rim of your coffee mug, which was more than likely cold by now. Lumen shuffles a bit, seated next to you and trying to fix his posture. You keep forgetting how tall he is. Anyway, it's not like I can go to work now, even if the renovations are done. Well, if you want somewhere to work at the meantime, the flower shop is hiring part-time right now. I could put in a good word for you. I really appreciate that, Lou. Seriously. You thank him with a sigh, then place your mug on the table in front of you. As if all the bottled-up exhaustion you've been feeling ever since you heard the news had suddenly hit you, you feel yourself resting your head against Lumen's shoulder, yawning. Have you been worrying yourself all this time? You hum an affirmation. Sorry for using you like a pillow. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure he loves it. Oh, I don't mind. You can rest. Your door is locked and I'm here, so you don't have to worry. No one will interrupt your rest. Thank you. Glad I met you, Lou. I'm glad I met you too, Espoir. It's not long before your soft breaths fill the quiet room, signifying that you've fallen asleep. Lou, why'd the music stop? You've made my life so much brighter, even as a person that can't stand the sun. I find that I don't burn when I'm near you, despite your radiance. You're ethereal, Espoir, and I'd rather die than let anything or anyone bother you in any way. Not even the rain. It takes you a few moments to fully adjust to consciousness and gather your bearings. You look around your bedroom, rubbing the sleep from your eyes as you do so. How did you get to your bed? You remember making the decision to stay home because of the news. Right, your boss was killed. You felt unsafe and stayed home. Then you called Lumen over and... Oh God, Lumen! You abruptly throw off your bedsheets and shoot out of your bed, taking off towards the living room.
How could you have fallen asleep when you were the one that called him over? You feel awful. Now, in the living room, you see that Lumen is still here. He's on your couch, resting his head on his fist, breathing softly. He went to sleep here? God, now you feel even worse. You should probably wake him up and tell him it's all right for him to head home now. You shake his arm as gently as possible until he begins to stir with a small hum. Lumen, hey, I'm sorry for falling asleep and leaving you. In my house. You grimace slightly. You could have gone home, you know? Lumen shakes his head. It's no problem. I had the day off anyway. You feel like he's missing the point. That's even worse. I wasted your day off. I'm sorry. Really, Espoir, I don't mind. Especially if you were able to get good rest, knowing I was here. Well, yeah, I did. Seriously, Lou, I can't thank you enough. Just happy to help. Ah, right. What time is it? Lumen pulls his phone from his pocket, taking a moment to unlock the screen. It's a little past 9 p.m. Dang, it's already pretty late. Geez, I didn't think I'd sleep this long. Anyway, would you like some dinner, Lou? Assuming you haven't eaten yet. I haven't. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty hungry. You give him a guilty smile in response. All right, wait here and I'll cook something up for the both of us. Thank you, Espoir. It's the least I could do. You wonder how many times you've said that to Lumen. Your guest waits patiently while you cook, turning the TV to some random cartoon. Oh, hey, that's the bakery duck from the bakery duck story.
A story, huh? I'd be happy to. This is the story about a young duck that longs to become a pastry chef and build his own bakery from scratch. From the other game made by this developer. Bakery Duck. Lumen keeps his attention on the TV as you cook, leading you to wonder if he wanted it to be a surprise. That's actually pretty cute. Fortunately, it doesn't take you that long to make dinner, a simple chicken pasta with white sauce. You were planning on having it before everything went south today. And since the chicken was already thawed out, making the noodles and sauce wasn't a lengthy process. Lumen wouldn't be hungry for much longer. Dinner's served. You get to eat my cooking, Lumen, like we're married or something. Wow, Espoir. It looks amazing. Hee, let's just hope it tastes as good as it looks. Lumen takes no time in gathering a piece of chicken on his fork, along with a few noodles swirled around it. You can't help but watch as he eats his food, just to make sure he doesn't hate it or anything. Lumen's hand is moving a bit quicker now, as if he couldn't get the food to his mouth fast enough. Looks like he's enjoying it. You planned to keep the chatting to a minimum so he could just enjoy his food, but he seems pretty adamant about making conversation in between chewing and swallowing. You're just glad he likes your cooking this much. Aww. After dinner, Lumen offered to do the dishes while you relax and kick your feet up. The food was really good, Espoir. Thank you. I'm always happy to cook for someone that'll enjoy what I make, you know? I can understand the sentiment, even though I don't cook often. Oh, you don't? Not really. I usually just make instant food instead. Cooking takes a lot of effort, and I live alone, so... You give Lumen a teasing smile. You should start eating better, or I'll end up having to send you homemade meals every day. Oh. Is that supposed to be a threat? It definitely is, because with each dish I send you, I'm gonna attach a sticky note with a rant on it. No grown man wants to be nagged at, right? I don't really mind, if it's you, Espoir. Lou, that's... Was I gonna say that's kinda creepy? Before you can respond, your phone goes off. It's an incoming call from a coworker. Do you need to take that? After some consideration,
You decide not to, giving Lumen a smile after putting your phone on mute. Nah. I think I'd rather hear more about what you think of my cooking. I'll be happy to tell you more, Espoir. Oh, how lovely. How sweet. How sweet, how wholesome, with only minimal Yandere shenanigans, Lumen. Ending 4. Out came the sun. How nice. Congratulations, you've gotten all the endings. Seriously, thank you for playing this game up until this point. I really appreciate it. There's a lot more that I'd like to say in regards to this project, but I'll leave that for the comments and whatnot on the games page. Feedback, comments, and ratings are always welcome, and I look forward to discussing things with you, Espoir. Thanks again. Big hugs and kisses to you, dear player. Oh, precious. And if you would like to follow this game for yourself, there is a link in the description, as always, in case it updates and then we can see what more Lumen is doing. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right. So there was some Yandere shenanigans. Someone did get murdered. And then someone else was and then Sam was gonna get probably murdered as well. But at least Lou is a really nice house guest, and he likes my cooking, so that's a plus. But I'd love to hear what you have to think in the comments, so you could write a comment down there and I will read it. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself. Have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.